M3GAN is an android with last generation technology that can do a lot of incredible things, and that could only come out of a science fiction movie. But did you know that we already have robots that can surpass M3GAN in some things? Stick around and let's try to answer this question. Is it possible to have a M3GAN in real life? In order to answer whether something like M3GAN can exist, let's see what it can do, and if there's anything in the world that can mimic or even surpass her. Let's start with intelligence. M3GAN possesses an artificial intelligence that is able to search for information, analyze and reason. And for what we see in the movie, she is able to learn at a very fast pace without much effort. Is there an artificial intelligence capable of doing this? Yes, although it's still learning. GPT-3, which doesn't speak and works by text, although the function of speaking is the least, because it could easily do it as Alexa, and is that GPT-3 is developed with open program. This means that many people can contribute their grain of sand, and is that, with its system, has read entire libraries and can hold a conversation very naturally, and learns more than any other, and much better. Easily beats Simi and other text artificial intelligences. We could say that M3GAN has the intelligence of GPT-3, but in a very advanced version. And is that M3GAN, in addition to having very natural conversations with humans, can learn to drive cars as if nothing. There's also Pepper, a robot that is little less intelligent than GPT-3, but is also able to understand non-verbal language, something that GPT-3 doesn't have, because it's still a pure text intelligence. So M3GAN would be something like the combination of these two intelligences. So in terms of intelligence, we could say that the most advanced ones we have so far are still a little bit short. Although as technology is advancing very fast, it wouldn't be a surprise if it reaches M3GAN's level in a few years. In the movie, M3GAN can dance with the forbidden steps, run like a dog, and handle tools with great precision. To kill, but at the end of the day, she is precise. To all that she's able to do, we must add that she's super silent. She never makes engine or piston noises, something that is too ideal for a machine. There's a robot that is capable of running the same way M3GAN did, even faster than her, and even faster than Usain Bolt himself. And that is the Boston Dynamics Cheetos robot, which is capable of running very fast in record time, something very similar to what M3GAN does, with the difference that the Cheetah is not even close to being a well-equipped model like M3GAN is, and it is still very noisy. And in the precision of M3GAN's fine movements, the closest thing there is the Atlas robot, that can run and recover from falls. Although it still makes quite a bit of noise, and is much heavier and taller than M3GAN is. Although it may not be too long before we see something more precise and agile, as Disney was creating robots capable of doing maneuvers like superheroes do, capable of swinging through the air Spider-Man style, and even making decisions in the same acrobatics in real time. Besides, there are robots much more precise than M3GAN, such as those that can perform surgery and do factory work, and can even dance ballet. The only problem with such precise robots is that they are still arms and not full humanoid bodies like M3GAN. In this section, we're still far from reaching M3GAN's level. And in the strength, we can see that in the movie, M3GAN has a superhuman strength and her body is almost pure metal, something that doesn't sound like a good enough excuse for her to be able to do many things with that 1.5 meters she has. In real life, there's the Digit robot that can carry boxes while walking around with 2 legs, but it's not enough for M3GAN's level. The closest in brute force would be the HRP-5P. They should rather give it a nickname. This was designed with the idea of doing very heavy construction work, and if we see its design, we will see that it needs to be very large and have long arms and a lot of protections to avoid damaging itself with what it carries, and it doesn't doesn't look anything like the elegant design of our M3GAN. So in the Force, there are robots that can be compared, but M3GAN is just over a meter, and these robots need at least 2 meters and a lot of metal to protect themselves, and M3GAN only uses sunglasses to cover from the sun. M3GAN is a robot for children. Inside the movie, we are told that M3GAN is a toy, something that sounds very absurd, and that we can hardly believe. In real life, there would be nothing to compare it. Which robot's toy would be able to do what the M3GAN does? Maybe a Furby could, but they are much less frequent today. So discarding the toys, we are left with those robots that fulfill the function of babysitters, just like M3GAN. And for that, we have the Ipal, a robot with height just over a meter, something that is very similar to M3GAN. This robot is able to teach things to children, can accompany them and take care of them. The Ipal can identify them and listen to them with all the microphones it has integrated. But what it cannot do is sing to them like M3GAN, who not only sings, but sings very well. The Ipal is humanoid, but doesn't have human features and runs on Android, something that M3GAN surely doesn't need. The advantage of the Ipal is that it runs Free Fire and M3GAN doesn't. Although M3GAN looks superior to the naked eye, the Ipal is sure to appeal more to kids. So, on the side of making a robot for kids, yes, you can. Doing all that, how can it last all day? The robot that has lasted the longest running is the Curiosity, which lasted years on Mars. And it's not just anything, it required a lot of energy to run, so much that it used a nuclear battery, a name that imposes a lot. M3GAN would need a lot of energy to do everything she does. She runs, she dances, she does things. And how does she charge herself? By plugging in at night, just like a phone. So yes, there are batteries capable of giving M3GAN all the power she needs to function, but it would be difficult to charge her at home. So yes, we have the battery, but we don't have a normal way to charge it. So if we had a M3GAN, our house would be without power, and in the process, we would leave our neighbors without power. M3GAN is all-in-one. The idea of a robot that can do a bunch of different things sounds very unrealistic, since for now, almost all the robots out there do nothing but a single function, and M3GAN does everything. Do we have something like that? Not yet, but that's what Honda's Asimo wants to do. All this to be the ultimate robot that can adapt to whatever its environment needs, make decisions, move around, grab things, and look like humans in almost every way. Of all the robots on the list, the Asimo is the only one that doesn't make so much noise, and is so perfected that it doesn't have a single wire inside. But it's still far from looking like M3GAN, all sleek and well groomed. So yes, there could be something very similar to M3GAN, but only if we combine all the robots into one, so that it fulfills so many functions and looks human. Unfortunately, this is not yet possible, not even cost effective, because maintaining it with nuclear batteries doesn't sound cheap at all. But everything we need is already being done, and we have artificial intelligence that are able to draw perfectly or even move like us. So maybe in a few years we will see toys similar to M3GAN, without the obvious killer functions, of course. And you, how soon do you think we will see a M3GAN in real life? Leave your answers in the comments.